You always just got to tackle when like defenders.
I think like.
It's never a boring day where Arsenal's transfer news is concerned. Be nice to see people holding the shirt pictured outside London coldly, especially when you consider what everybody's done in the market so far in the process of doing. Now, no clue on the credibility of CNN Portugal. However, Viktor Gyökeres' agent is currently meeting with Arsenal. We've heard this before, but what do you make of that? Does that mean we're going to pivot towards Gyökeres against Sesko? Are we going to sign both? Are we, as silly as it would be, playing a bit of a game like we want Sesko so much we're talking with Gyökeres' agent? I don't know. You hear a lot of different rumors, people, but what would you make of that? Would you prefer Gyökeres or Sesko? The Independent, in relation to the Slovenian Benjamin Sesko, has said RB Leipzig are currently holding firm on receiving the full release clause for Arsenal target Benjamin Sesko, a figure which is now understood to exceed 65 million. So there's probably a bit of bartering going on. Sam Dean of the Telegraph has said Sesko's current preference is to remain in Europe, probably because he's been linked with Saudi clubs. Sources in Germany have said he is Arsenal's preferred target, but no offer yet. Berta is studying a number of targets and finances involved in each. Gyökeres among those targets. Watkins' move unlikely, but not completely ruled out. Where do you lot think Arsenal's head is at? Personally, I think Sesko's the one they want. Something goes left with Sesko. Gyökeres is the one they want. I don't know who, but someone like Hugo Ekitike, I think they'll explore other things, maybe even pivoting towards going all out for Rodrigo or a left winger or whatever have you, and then Ollie Watkins. But what would you lot make of that? You would have seen earlier today, Sporting President Federico Varandas has said, I guarantee you that Viktor Gyökeres won't leave for 60 million euros plus 10 million euros in add-ons, because I didn't promise him that. There are some rumors that Gyökeres allegedly was promised that he could leave this summer for a fee below his release clause. This game his agent is playing is only making the situation worse. And you've seen Gyökeres come out and speak. You've heard rumors about he was going to go on strike. Is that any coincidence? You've seen apparently he's holding talks with Arsenal's agent. I mean, his agent is holding talks with Arsenal, and imagine Berta. Arsenal are working to leapfrog Manchester United and others in the race for Viktor Gyökeres, says Alfredo Pedula. No clue on his credibility. Gyökeres has told Sporting he'll never play for them again. The player is ready to go on strike and will not return for pre-season, which would indirectly harm him. The relationship between the club and the player is broken. Arsenal and Manchester United remain interested, said the record out of Portugal. We've been linked with Jarell Hatto. Arsenal and Chelsea have called to be informed on Jarell Hatto's situation. Bring him. He's captain Ajax, can play centre-half, spent a year at left-back. We need defensive reinforcements, resale value. Not that I necessarily care about that, but that's something. Bring him. To be honest, if I'm him, you know, I don't know if he'll play ahead of Levi Cole, left-sided centre-back. I don't know if he'll play at left-back, but I will, you know, you're more likely to play at Chelsea, if I'm honest. We're being linked with a number of defenders, even though the rumours are centred around attackers, and that's a key part or component of Arsenal's business. I must admit, I'm tired of hearing about Nico Williams. Sky Germany's Florian Plattenberger said Nico Williams is open to a move to Bayern Munich. The Spanish forward is asking for a 20 million euros a year salary. His release clause remains 60 to 65 million euros. AC Milan would only consider selling Rafael for 100 million. What's that, 80 odd? We have heard rumors that apparently Berta's held talks with him. Would you prefer Nico Williams or Leao? Do you think we should go for Leao over Nico Williams? Or some of you might reckon we should bring in both. Nico Williams has now signaled to, I don't know what that was, to FC Bayern that he can very well imagine a move to Bayern. That's why Euler/Fraud are continuing talks with his management. There's also been a meeting. The release clause is set at 60 to 65 million euros. His salary demands are around 20 million euros gross. Bayern are actively working on a deal. You would have seen Sane's basically been confirmed as a Galatasaray player, but there's no agreement yet. It's still at an early stage. Bacola remains a desired target. We should be in for Bacola, but a transfer is very difficult to realize as Paris are determined to keep him, people. Since deal for Huysen didn't happen, both Arsenal and Chelsea remain interested in Hatto. In the last week after Chelsea, also Arsenal started to call to be informed on the condition of a deal. Arsenal want a talented defender. That was said by Fabrizio Romano. Apparently, Mikel Arteta is in love with Rodrigo. The coach carefully studied Rodrigo, and he's totally certain that Rodrigo would be a superstar at Arsenal playing on the left wing. Arteta really, really wants Arsenal to sign Rodrigo this summer. If you're looking for a market opportunity, Napan, who he was linked with, apparently is close to an agreement with Manchester City. So who really cares in that regards? People close that. Apparently, Xabi Alonso has his starting 11 in mind. You know, I've spoken on this before, but I can't see Rodrigo's name. Nonetheless, apparently Rodrigo is convinced that Xabi Alonso's arrival will open many new opportunities for him, helping him regain importance in Real Madrid. He's happy under Xabi Alonso's orders. Some doubts over his future seem to have disappeared with the arrival of Xavi. The player is determined to succeed under the new coach and tell that he has a place in Real Madrid. In relation to Benjamin Sesko, he wants to go to Arsenal and is energized by the prospect, with personal terms seen as no issue. The primary issue right now is between the clubs, with Leipzig currently holding firm on receiving his 60 million release clause, now understood to exceed 65 million. Arteta, we've heard, is interested in Gurhi, who has a year left on his deal. He's linked with Arsenal, Newcastle, Liverpool, and what have you. It is a World Cup year. Does he reckon he can break in ahead of Gabriel Magalhaes and Saliba? Would you prefer Gurhi or Hato, if not both? Do you think if you was Gurhi, would you make the move? Smash the like button, let me know. Fulham apparently are interested in bringing back Reece Nelson if an appropriate deal can be reached. Zinchenko is still linked with AC Milan, as it looks like Atletico Madrid might be able to prize Theo Hernandez away from them. Is there anything new here? I don't know why we've got a tab here, but let's see what's going on. Anything new? We've gone over Hato, we've gone over Williams, gone over Napan. Big up Tierney, wish you all the best over there, people. Mikel Arteta is in love with Rodrigo. We've gone over that. Sesko, we've gone in love with that. As stated, Arsenal apparently were strong contenders for Sane, but were considering their options, with Sane wanting a more immediate resolution and an appealing proposition from Turkey, providing that apparently James Benja said he's going to earn 475,000 a week in Turkey, on top of living in Turkey, great city, great country, sorry. I'm sure wherever Galatasaray is, great city, earning a lot of money, and a new experience in which footballers get to see different countries. But Sane is another one that we're not going to get. I like Sane, but I only would have been happy with Sane in an ideal world if you get a Nico Williams, a Rodrigo, Rafa Leao, Sesko / Gyökeres, do what we need to do with Zubamendi and in the defensive third. And if he's just an added addition, if he was the left wing option at 29, I don't think it makes sense. Partey, it seems like there's no resolution over a deal for him. We all know we're moving closer towards signing Kepa, just in case you've been living under a rock. Apparently, Chelsea have made contact with Morgan Rogers' camp ahead of a potential summer move, and he'll cost a grand total of 80 million. Is that something we should get involved with? Speaking of British players, well, he plays for Ghana. Semenyo apparently is a target for both Manchester United and Arsenal. He's also linked every now and again with Spurs. Bournemouth have set a 70 million price tag. Would you pay that, or is he not worth it? Anyone having Garnacho? Apparently Alejandro Garnacho's agents have spoken with Arsenal to confirm his situation. Chelsea and former club Atletico Madrid apparently are also in the race, and we've gone over Napan already.